Welcome back to Anderson's Smoke Show. Today we are back at the Masterbuilt Gravity Series 560 with some stainless steel modifications sent to us by LSS-Mods. Stick around, see what we've got in store for you. Be sure to subscribe to my channel and ring that bell so that you can keep up with the latest content. Like the video, write me a comment, let me know what you think of these stainless steel modifications. Now let's get them added to the grill. Before we get started, let's take a look at the LSS website. Take a look and see what modifications that he has. You can see here we've got the Firebox for the gravity feed smoker. We've got the Firebox again, we've got the vent damper, we've got an entire mod package that doesn't include the vent damper. We've got the 1050 complete mod package. And then we can buy the manifold cover by itself for either the 560 or the 1050. We've got the 560 water pan and the 1050 water pan. Now let's take a look at the 560 mod package. You can see here that for $245 you get that Firebox mod, that manifold cover with the anti-flare lip and the water pan. But that rear vent damper is sold separately. Let's take a look at that vent damper control. You can see here with the pictures the open and the closed positions. And we've got a little description here of that vent damper cut with that 304 stainless steel on it. Super easy to install, super easy design. That way you can control the airflow in your smoker. When it comes to smoking meats, it's very important to have a moist environment inside of the grill. That will help with the smoke and getting that to stick to the meat. And when it comes to water pans, the Masterbuilt Gravity Series smokers are missing them. So LSS-Mods sent me a water pan. It's really easy to install, come check it out. So when it comes to installing this water pan, it's really simple. You simply place it to the right side of the manifold. Now, depending on how you've got that manifold adjusted, you might not have to move it, or you might have to slide it to the left to make room for that water pan. But it basically sits right there to the right of the manifold, and they provide this syringe so that once the grill's hot and it's time to cook, you need to add more water, it's going to be difficult to get the grates out. So they provided this syringe so that you could squirt water down from the grates right down into that water pan. That there is a simple and easy fix for adding a water pan to the Masterbuilt. So the next piece is this manifold cover with the anti-flare lip. Basically this will sit right on top of the manifold. It will be super easy for cleanup, as you can just pick this up, scrape it off, rinse it off, clean it up with some soap or grill cleaner, and you're good to go. Stainless steel, very good quality. I mean, it's very sturdy. It is a little sharp, so be careful if you're handling this. And you can see that lip on the side that prevents grease from dripping down into the manifold where you could cause a flare-up. Let's go ahead and get this installed. So this is very simple. It just sits on top of the manifold. And it's already bent and everything to sit perfectly right on top. There we go. So the next modification that we've got here today is this vent damper control. That's something that this Masterbuilt doesn't have, that you've got no control of the airflow within the grill. So let's go ahead and get this installed. It should be easy. So as you can see on the back of this vent damper, we've got about 4 tabs. We've got 2 over here on the left, we've got 1 on the right, and 1 down here at the bottom. All you do is simply start with the left side and you slide those into place, and you want to keep it high so that this bottom tab stays up. And we'll get the right side in, we'll basically just push it down. That's now installed, and you can simply take your finger here and adjust the damper on this. So the nice thing about these modifications from LSS-Mods is the fact that there's no drilling, there's no screwing, there's nothing that will affect the grill in any way in terms of warranty, as you can just pull any of these modifications right off and it leaves no trace of them. So the next modification that we've got here is a Firebox insert. There's been a lot of complaints that the Firebox basically breaks down over time and falls apart. So here is a nice, perfect fit stainless steel insert that we can slide right down into the hopper so that we've got the protection there in the Firebox. Let's do it. Unfortunately, the last cook that we did, there's quite a bit of charcoal left in the smoker and I've got to get that out. Man, boy, look at that paint peeling. We're like stuck to the top here. So unfortunately, I got to get this charcoal out. So I'm just gonna start pulling it out with my hand here. I'm gonna get nice and dirty for the camera today. Getting dirty on camera. We've got the majority of the charcoal out of the hopper, but it's getting difficult to reach the bottom. So we're gonna go ahead and get this disassembled and we should be able to pull the rest out from there. All right, so with this Gravity Series 560, to install the Firebox, we have to start by removing the upper heat shield. So I've got my impact here with a Phillips. I'm just gonna get in here and start removing all of the screws here on this upper heat shield. This heat shield should just come right off. Just like so. Let's carefully place that there. We're gonna have to remove the upper hopper assembly here, but as you can see, there's a limit switch here for the door. We don't wanna break any of those wires. So we should be able to just wiggle those loose, just like so. I'm gonna pull this little boot down on this one so that I could remember that it goes to the front. That way we don't get them confused. So now we need to remove the upper hopper assembly. We don't have to worry about removing the lid. We gotta get in here and do that. So I've got my impact here and we're just going to go around here. Remove all of these screws. Guess I basically had that one out already. We got one in the front here. We'll use the screwdriver to get it out. And this whole upper hopper assembly should just lift off. There we go. Brought a little bit of the gasket with us. That's all right. Now we can see down in there. You can see that there is still a little bit of charcoal in there. I'll go ahead and get that out here in a second. But just looking, I can definitely see that that Firebox is warped. It looks pretty warped. There's some paint chipping or some finish that's chipping off there. I heard that Masterbuilt put this metal in place to hold the fire brick, as they say, intact, and that this metal over time is actually meant to break down and basically dissolve into nothing. I think that that's kind of an odd thing to do, But we're gonna go ahead and put this stainless steel insert in. But first, let's get the rest of the charcoal out. So I've got this clean and free of charcoal. You can see that there's a little bit of warp and finish wearing off there. Same thing over here. The other sides look all right. It is a little bit warped. I do get a lot of questions about the Firebox, and I get a lot of questions about this right here. There have been claims that people have had these basically wear down to the point where charcoal starts falling through. I've probably got 20 to 30 cooks on this Masterbuilt, and there's absolutely no breakdown on this. This looks, besides being dirty, it looks as good as it did the day we put it in. So the instructions for the Firebox say that if the hopper assembly there, or that Firebox is warped, like kind of concave, to take a hammer and straighten it out. So let's see what kind of damage we can do here. We don't really have a lot of room.
Yo.
So we've got the stainless steel Firebox. We basically just need to slide this down in place. Now it will be a snug fit. Make sure that the opening here is towards the grill, because that's where all the heat and smoke enter the grill from. Now try and keep that as straight as possible. Like I said, that'll be a snug fit. And I can't really get it any further by hand, so I'm gonna get a piece of wood. My wood here. There we go. All right, now we've got that down, and as you can see there, the stainless steel is now almost an inch below that original hopper, or the original Firebox. So now let's see if this fits. There we go. All right, so we have to apply a gasket to the bottom side of the upper hopper assembly. So I'm gonna take a little grill cleaner and spray it around the bottom just so we can clean that up and ensure that we get a good amount of glue to stick. So I've just got some Citrasafe grill cleaner, and I've got my plastic putty knife, and I'm just gonna scrape the remnants of that other gasket off. You can see we're getting quite a bit of that to come off. This is a felt gasket that LSS-Mods sent us with that Firebox insert. And basically, we need to run this on the inside of the screw holes. We want to butt all edges up to each other to make a good seal. So I'm just eyeballing here. And I'm going to go ahead and cut this here. And they send you just enough to do the job. So there really isn't a lot of room for mistakes. So let's go ahead and get this one installed. Basically looking to line these up with the holes on both sides. And there we go, just like that. It's a tad long. We could always trim it with a razor blade if we really needed to. So there, we've got one installed. Now we've got that gasket installed. Let's go ahead and get this thing put back together. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and just flip this over like so. We're gonna get this in place. Just getting them started here, then I'll use my impact to tighten them down. All right, so let's connect that limit switch. Like I said, I pulled the boot down on the front, the one that goes on the front terminal. So I'll go ahead and put that one on first so there's no confusion. And then we'll put this other one here on the back terminal. And I feel they clicked it. Oh, that one did not connect. There we go. Got both of those in now. All right, good and secure. Now, let's just get that heat shield back on with all them screws and we are done. Now remember when you're putting this heat shield back on that the top overlaps the bottom. So just make sure that you're doing that once you get it in place. Last thing we got here is the latch for the hopper lid. So I'm gonna go ahead and just get one of these screws started. We've got all of the modifications added to the Masterbuilt Gravity Series 560. They're all stainless steel, but they may have had some protective coating or oils on them for the shipping process. So you want to do a burn off. I would suggest 350 degrees for about a half hour. That should burn off any oils or lubricants or protectants that may have been on that metal. Other than that, you are ready to go. Thanks again for sticking around and watching this modification video for the Masterbuilt Gravity Series 560. We'll see you next time at Anderson Smoke Show.
Thanks again for tuning in to Anderson Smoke Show. Be sure to like the video and subscribe to my channel so that you can keep up with the latest content.